welcome. Today I'm here with Bryan Furman, Mr. Barbecue himself. And we are at this beautiful Salamander Resort, just finishing off a weekend with the family reunion hosted by Kwame Onawache and the Food and Wine magazine. It was a wonderful weekend. How are you doing, Bryan?
Doing great, as always.
Yes. So you are really unconventional. I called you Mr. Barbecue because you don't use those traditional titles like chef and pitmaster. What do you call yourself, and why don't you use those traditional titles?
I just always like to be looked at as like the next man, so just Bryan or B.
B.
Like just simple B, Bryan. So that's why I always ask people their names. I don't go off really titles like that. Even though I was told like by Dr. Howard Conyers, like, Bryan, you need to use that word pitmaster because for media. So that's why you see B's Pitmaster.
Right,
you know?
right.
So I know how to use it for media, and that's how people pay you. You got to have a label.
You got to have a label. And it's easy to identify.
Yes.
Pitmaster, oh, that's barbecue. Yeah, so I don't have to guess.
Yes, so that's why I go that route with the names.
Okay, okay. So how did you start cooking, and how was barbecue your thing?
Well, my dad, he's from Miami, so he always was cooking the food on the grill, like dealing with the fires, smoking meats. And my mom would always make sides. And my mom grew up on a farm, so my parents had pigs, chickens, and all that stuff. And so anytime we would have a family event, my dad was the one cooking. And whether we were frying fish, whatever meat it was, my dad was cooking it. And my mom would make the sides, and my aunts and grandma and them all would collaborate and make dessert. So I learned that part from my dad, but learning how the techniques and flavoring and how you separate, keep your noodles and all this, I learned that a lot from my mom. She used to have me prepping for her.
Yes, they always give us something to do, right? The kids have to be like helping out some kind of way.
Yes.
And it's a great tradition because then you get to learn and you could become Bryan Furman.
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
You've overcome a lot of adversity. You've had like 2 restaurant fires.
Yes, I have.
In a short amount of time.
Yes.
But you have that can-do attitude, like never give up, because the first fire you rebuilt, the second fire you rebuilt. How do you keep the motivation going just to continue?
Well, that was a 4-year space. I did go.
That's still a lot, real quick.
4 years. But I'm just joking with you. So, but I just always never believed in the only person you can count yourself out is yourself. So once you quit, you know, like, I mean, I don't know. I can't even say it. I just never been a quitter. And I believe if I get there one time, I know how to get there again. If I did it once, I could do it again. But the next time I do it, I'm going to do it better.
Right.
So I never really looked at those. And you say adversity, there's a lot of other things, you know. I had death in my family. My brother passed during that time. So it was a lot of things that was going on behind the scenes. But I still just kept going and having a business manager and a support team like my mom, my dad, and friends, you know, like Ilya, and you know, my aunt. It's just, they kind of kept me like foot on my neck.
Right.
Hey, don't forget.
Right.
Hey, do this.
You gotta have that team.
You gotta have that
to push you.
Yeah, you gotta have those people on your team that's gonna tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Yes, and that can be hard sometimes.
Yeah, so you know, I and I'm one of those kind of guys too, so that's why I love them.
So are you rebuilding now?
Yes, I bought a piece of property last April, closed. It's 2102 Bolton Road, in the same neighborhood as the old one.
Okay.
In the Riverside neighborhood in Atlanta, West Side. Not Upper West Side, West Side.
Okay.
But I just got my shared parking space agreement 2 weeks ago that we've been waiting for.
Okay.
So it's an old 1920s home. So being in that neighborhood to keep that like South Carolina feel. We're building a 700 square foot smokehouse. There'll be a 725 square foot covered patio. And so that, hopefully that should be up and running by March.
March?
Yeah.
That's pretty soon.
Yes.
Are you putting anything unique? I know that you really like to focus on honoring the past. Are you doing anything special with this new property?
Well, I've talked to a couple. Sorry about that. I talked to patio. Okay, so I talked. Sorry about that.
That's
Let me put this on. Let me turn this off. So, what happened is last year when I was in Stone Barns, I met a guy. His name was Mike Roner. He's a painter, and he took a picture of my tent and my smoker setup out there, and then he sent it to me. He sent me another one for my mom and dad, and so what I wanted to do was I was like, you know what? When I reopen my restaurant, I like honoring Black pitmasters because they don't get their recognition. And so what I wanted to do was I wanted to honor pitmasters who never really got the recognition. Like Ronnie Scott got recognition. I'm talking about the guys like Robert Patillo, Mr. Ed Mitchell. I meant to say Campbell, Ruth and Francis Campbell out of South Carolina, where I'm from, on Campbell's Barbecue. I've already called and talked to them, and I want to get all their pictures on the wall, but I want them to be painted.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Because it's more of an art to it instead of just going and printing out a big old paper. So I want those pictures, and I want my mom, I want my dad, I want my grandma, I want all their pictures in my restaurant, like painted up. Like that's how I got where I'm at. So,
speaking of your family, you have been working with them. They're working in the restaurant, helping to rebuild?
Well, my mom basically is the size. My dad, he's out of it. So the only family member I have in it is my mom and my son.
Yeah, so he's online with you?
My son, he's been helping here with the restaurant since 2014, 15. And then he went back to Charlotte, but he'll be back. He was here with me last year when we did Netflix. And I let him cook the ribs. And
the ribs we had this weekend?
His ribs tasted just like those ribs. Last year we did an event here for the Netflix film festival. And I cooked the brisket and I let him cook the ribs. And so everybody was talking about those ribs. And it was like, man, these ribs taste like almost better than your daddy's. I was like, they better taste better than mine if I showed them how to do it. I want them to taste better than mine.
Right, so he's learning. He's learning from the master.
So he trains all the people that come in to season the meats, how to make the sides.
So how's that balance, like being the boss of the family? Because, your mom's helping you with the sides.
She's still the boss.
She's still the boss?
She's still the boss. She's still the boss. She's still the boss.
They never take that hat off, do they?
Nah, that's why I keep my hat on backwards, because she keep hers on straight. So but no, it's nothing like working with your mom, in the kitchen. And just to remember my mom telling me, like, I cooked at 4 years old. So a lot of time when people ask me, like, hey, how long you been cooking? I'll be like 37 years. They be like, 37 years? I was like, man, I was cooking grilled cheeses at 4. My mama had me in my grandma's stove on a stool, and I'm sitting there making grilled cheeses, but that was my favorite. And she showed me how to make them.
You're right.
So
she taught you some independence.
Yeah, my mama, she did. And I think that's where that adversity come from. Like,
you're right.
Just coming, my mama ain't gonna let nothing hold her back.
You're right.
So I think, and she always like, try your best. When I played baseball, she'd be like, all right now, I ain't gonna have you out here with these coming to these sorry games. And so she would have me at the batting cage every weekend, like working me. So that's what.
Anything you're gonna do, you gotta do it well.
You gotta do it right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, no shortcuts.
No shortcuts. I understand. So I know you've been doing pop-ups all around the country, and each region has its own kind of barbecue. Like in South Carolina has that vinegar base, like I'm from Memphis, so we had. I saw that little face. That's okay. We're known for like dry rub, and then Texas has this brisket. You know, all that. What's your style of barbecue, and how is everyone around the country like accepting it?
Well, everybody always, and we just had a conversation about this the other day with Rodney and the guys are there. When everybody asks me like, "What's my style of barbecue?" I say Bryan, because like once you give a state or give somebody else credit, then when you become successful, or in their eyes successful, then they're gonna want to come and take that from you. So I never sit here and say, okay, this is South Carolina style barbecue. This is South Carolina style. I won't do that. So me, I just take flavors that I love and what I think is different and what I like to eat. And so when I'm cooking my food, I'm cooking it the way I like it.
Right.
You know, my grandma taught me that. Like, don't cook how they want to eat it. You cook how you would eat it. So that what gave me that mindset of that. My dad taught me about the woods and the hickory and strongness. That wood is too strong, so I kind of like, all right, I want to go with the milders, like the pecan and the cherry, so people ain't coughing up smoke.
Right, right.
But South Carolina is a state that has all three sauces, and they have the mustard, they have the tomato, and they have the vinegar-based sauces. So that's why I have three sauces. But yeah, I don't put myself in that little box. And with the pop-ups,
yes,
we starting that back again. So
awesome. So are you coming to the Maryland, Baltimore area?
I've probably connected with like 4 people in this area.
So
and probably 2 in Baltimore. I'm waiting after October once I finish that kind of busy month. And right before I reopen, I want to do a tour. It's going to be like a 12-city tour. And I want to call it Everybody Eat Tour.
Let me tell you, I'm going to eat.
Yeah.
Because I had those ribs, and they were mighty delicious. Everyone at the table was talking about those ribs. So, like, ribs. Yeah, they blow you away. So if you bringing those ribs, I'm going to be there.
Well, yeah, I'm bringing the ribs. I thought everybody was talking about my mama beans. Like, everybody, those baked beans.
Yes, the baked beans. Last year, I think you put some brisket in those.
They was in there this year, too.
They were in there this year?
Yeah. This year, we put them on the smoker and cooked them.
Yes. Okay. I could tell a little bit of a difference in that flavor, but it was great. It was really delicious.
Yeah, it was that. That's what she did.
So, turning away from barbecue for a hot second.
Okay. I
saw you on IG a couple of weeks ago, and you went hiking for the first time.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was fun. Wayne, we call it the old man walk. It's 3 older, I have 2 older guys, Talene Anderson and Wayne Ellis. They live in my neighborhood, and I'm not gonna say how old they are because if they see this, they might get me. But they see me, and it was like, hey, you need to go walk with us because I go walking.
Okay.
And I try to do like 6 miles every day. And so they was like, you need to go walk with us. So we'll get up at 5 in the morning. We'll go walking at 6. And then on Sundays, we'll go to Kennesaw. And so that week, Wayne was like, all right, we're going to Kennesaw, pulling out at 7. We all stay like a mile from each other. So he pulled up at my house. I jumped in, went walking. I was like, whoa. Well, he was like, oh, you got some Jordans on, you walking in the wrong shoes. I was like, well, I ain't got no hiking boots. So I know to go buy me a pair of hiking boots now. But it was fun.
It was,
it was enjoyable. Just cardio, just getting. So I'm ready to do it again.
And I love just being out with the nature.
Yes.
Like seeing, like, you never know what you're going to see, being one with the trees, the greenery. It just connects you.
Yeah. He said it was the beginner's walk because it was only 3 miles. He was like, when we was leaving, he said, next time we're going to come around this way. And that's going to be 6 miles. And I was like, shit. But I'm ready for it, though.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking some time to speak with me.
No problem.
And good luck to you. I can't wait to taste some more of those ribs when you make it your way.
All right. I will be back up here soon, though.
All right.
Sooner than you think.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.